Did not do, you're right, across the board recommendation for everyone to get boosters. They don't think the data is there to sort of support that yet. They think the vaccines do work pretty well for people who aren't vulnerable for these reasons.
And then the two people resigned.
Two people resigned because I think
they felt that they were being pressured to. Why did they resign? They resigned over the boosters, correct?
I think you can safely say that.
That seems like a strange situation,
what happened
right?
was,
in the middle of a pandemic for someone who is...
It's not good.
Not good.
It's not good.
So what was your assessment of that?
I tell you, what I think, and this was a problem. This was a problem. The first we heard of boosters was from who? It was from the White House. Right? We should be hearing about these things first from scientists. FDA or CDC. Yeah, the scientists. Right. And I think that there was this concern that the White House was sort of getting out ahead of things and making it seem like this was preordained, which I agree, because they not only did they say boosters are going to be necessary for everybody, they said starting September 20th. They put a date on it.
Right.
They came back and they said, hey, look, what we really meant was that we think boosters are going to be necessary because we're seeing what's happening in Israel. We're seeing what's happening in the UK. We want to be ready. We want to make sure pharmacies have boosters and we don't go through the whole thing when vaccines first rolled out where people couldn't get them. That's not how they approached it. And I think the FDA, at least a couple of people who are very senior people within the vaccine office, basically said, we feel pressured and that's not how we should be conducting science policy. And they left as a result. I can see the problem with that. This should have been something that was just data-driven, and if you're going to make recommendations to the country on something like this, you've got to justify it.
You guys heard it right there. The White House is making decisions without fully looking at the data and the science behind it and telling Americans what to do before they even really had a plan. And that's coming from a CNN employee.
You've got to explain it. It can't feel too didactic, and it felt very top-down.
Did it concern you when you saw those folks resign? Because in the middle of a pandemic, you would think that the people that have already worked on this and have been working on it for quite some time are extremely valuable. For whatever reason that's forcing them to step down like that.
It concerned me a lot, and I look, I spoke up about it even at the time, and I said there was two problems here. One is that clearly the FDA and the CDC were not even part of some of these discussions, at least not some of the career scientists over there. They weren't even part of the discussion because they were surprised when suddenly the White House Coronavirus Task Force was saying boosters. And so some of these folks who are the actual scientists who are looking at this data, trying to make these determinations, were obviously blindsided by that. That's not good. But the second part of it that I think was even a bigger concern was, what was the data then? How do you justify this? And that's a problem.
I agree that is a problem. And now you see why the American people no longer trust the government, when members of the FDA don't even trust the government, so much so that they're resigning. So if you still don't see that the government is clearly pushing an agenda, one that they're not even really prepared for, then I don't know what to tell you. But let me know in the comments what you think of Gupta's thoughts on why these FDA members are resigning. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more content just like this. And I will see you in the next upload.